Alright, so for this Kizuna clash against Sabo and Koala, we have two teams. These teams will not be using Dragon or Ginny at in any position, even friend captain. So if you are not pulling on this banner, which I don't recommend because the banners are pretty bad, the units aren't really great. Dragon doesn't have much support, neither does Ginny. So if you want, if you I don't think it's recommended to pull on that banner. So, if you have pulled, however, on the God Valley banner, which was the 11th anniversary part 3, and luckily pulled both of the units, then you can make some pretty good teams out of them. And these are the teams. Against the Quick Boss, if you just want to see the teams, this is the team. This Jojo support is required, and it's with friend captain Rocks Pirates, as well as against the INT Boss. This is the team with friend captain 10 Tiny Shanks. I will do a breakdown for people who are new or who want to understand how this team works. So, first of all, when you go into the Quick Boss, recommended characters are obviously Dragon and Ginny. Cerebral, Striker, and Driven characters receive cooldown of their special charge, super switch, and versus effect. So right here I built a mono striker team. It's not necessary. The boss gives extra damage to cerebral characters, but because my cerebral roster isn't very strong and I don't have many rev army units, I've gone for a striker based team. So on this stage 2, we get 7 turns of defense, 1 turn of threshold, and if we remove defense or set defense to 0, our crewmate switches a random crewmate. So we don't want that, obviously. What we've done here is Versus Law is an amazing character for this. So if we go to Versus Law and if you go to Versus Law, very easy. There you go. In his special, he actually switches you with the captain if you have 6 striker characters. So first of all, he sets all enemies to 0 through immunity. That gets rid of the defense of completion. 7 turns of defense, you don't have to worry about it, right? He also applies Overheal, which actually triggers Rocks Pirates EX Super. So you don't have to worry about the character requirement either. And it only triggers if you have an Orb Boost. That's going to happen because we launch Rocks Pirates first. But the main thing, the important thing is right here. If 6 striker characters are on the crew, swaps middle right character with the captain for 1 turn. So, and reduces the captain's special charge time by 20 turns. This will only activate one time, but we only need it to activate one time. So, what we do is, we first activate Rocks Pirates. With their special, they don't actually have many utility aspects in this. If we're just doing it for the damage, we get a full board of orbs, we get an orb boost, and that's it. But the main thing is that with the Jozo support that attaches to Whitebeard, when you launch a special, it removes 1 turn of threshold. So that's how we are getting rid of the threshold. Once we get a full board of orbs and we launch Whitebeard special, or Rocks Pirate special, sorry, we then launch Law special because we already have the orb boost, gives the attack boost, sets defense to 0, so gets rid of the 7 turns of defense, and swaps captain with the Rocks Pirates. So we don't have to worry about them switching our character to the captain. And Rocks Pirates is a very strong captain. With an orb boost and an attack boost, we easily get to the stage, no problems. Then, to the last stage, we're going to look at level 31 plus. We get 9 turns of left column bind. All of our slots go into block slots. 8 turns of damage reduction. 2 turns of damage nullification. And all slots, all colored slots and tandem, for 3 turns, the damage is reduced by 90%. And if we change the slots, puts up a barrier of 3 turns for tandem slots. So this actually, Rocks Pirates deals with so well, so surprisingly well, because we're going to use a friend pirate Rocks captain, Rocks Pirates, in their captain ability, if you're inflicted with a damage reduction, they reduce it by 100%. So 8 turns of damage reduction, you don't have to worry about that at all. Alright, and in their special, reduces 3 turns of damage nullification. So we don't have to worry about that either. their captain deals with the damage reduction, their special deals with the damage nullification, but it does change slots, but it changes them perfectly. Our right column slots to Tandem and our left column slots to Semla. Semla's damage isn't reduced by the opponent, and we get 3 tandem mobs which can be used to get rid of the barrier. So that works perfectly, and we can also apply the set target status for extra damage once we launch the other Rock Pirate special that we have. We can also launch the EX Super. It doesn't really do much. I mean, you can activate Super Tandem, it's just extra damage, right? You don't really need much. But the important thing is 9 turns of bind on a left column. So for that, we have Jack. Jack is just a striker character that removes 6 turns of bind. So if you have here, reduces crew's bind and attack down duration by 6 turns. That's all he does, that's all he's here for. You can reduce him with any character that removes 6 turns of bind, or a character that removes 5 turns of bind that can have an additional support. The main point is that everyone is striker, so that Law's captain swap ability works. For this though, however, it is important that you have 3 turns of bind sockets. Obviously, if you're new to the game, you don't have many domes. So it's very important to use them wisely. It is important for this to have 3 turns of bind sockets. Right now I have only 2 turns. However, when my friend captain, I'll have 3 turns. So that will reduce the 9 turns to 6 turns of bind, and with Jack you can get rid of the bind. Roger Pirates aren't here for any special reason. They're just extra damage. They don't really provide any utility. They're not here for any characters. They're just a strong striker character that deals a lot of damage. And I had Sparrow here because the boss is a quick boss and I didn't have any dex units. So he is here for the color affinity, and if this can load, it should load. He gives a base attack boost to everyone. So he's just a strong dex striker that gives a base attack boost. The chain boundary I think Jack will already give, so there's no need for that. And it locks our slots, which is great. So even if you miss one turn, and it gives a damage reduction. So if you miss one turn, you can still go for the next turn. You won't have the damage pass. But if you just barely miss out, you can still go for another turn. So that's it. And for the cooldowns, you don't really have to worry much because all striker characters get 15 turns of cooldown. And with this ship, which is the limited time ship, the anniversary ship, it gives 5 turns of cooldowns. So that's 20 turns already. If you have 2 turn sockets, that's 22 turns. 1 turn with Law Captain, you get 23 turns, which reduces striker character special charge time by 1 turn. So like a 23 turn cooldown is still fine. You don't need to worry about cooldowns, you don't need to worry about supports. This Jozu is there. If you don't have Jozu, then you can replace the Rocks Pirates with any striker that removes threshold. It doesn't need to be Rocks Pirates, but Rocks Pirates friend captain is important to get rid of the damage reduction. This is primarily for people that pulled on the God Valley banner and not Dragon and Ginny, because the God Valley banner was much better than Dragon and Ginny. Now moving on to the INT boss. This boss is much easier actually. You don't need to deal with that many things, and honestly only three characters are important. So you get cooldown to Cerebral, Striker and Slasher. And on Battle 2, we get 5 enemies appearing, which is quite a lot of enemies. You don't know how much health they'll have, but it is quite a lot of enemies. All of our slots turn to unfavorable, and it locked our slots for 3 turns. Special reverse for 3 turns. All our slots were unfavorable, and when we are defeated, we get 60,000 damage. So for this, we don't really have much. We have Carrot and Wanda, which is one of the best special reverse characters in the game. So if it will load, I don't know why it's not loading. In their crewmate ability, it lets them completely evade special reverse, and with their special, reduces fighter, slasher, striker, cerebral, and powers character special charge time by 3 turns. So they completely deal with the special reverse. They also set all enemies defense to 0 and give you a slot boost. So this is going to be helpful to take down all 5 enemies. They're also important for this, which I'll get to later. And another thing is this free-to-play Shiryu. He's a treasure map character. So if you just played the treasure map that happened, you can pick this guy up. You actually only need 1 copy. You don't need that many copies. Even if you just get 1 copy and some of his limit break materials, not all of them. Just need to get some of them to reduce his cooldown to around 20-21 turns, so that he can get his cooldown by the 2nd stage. Otherwise his normal cooldown is like 33 turns something. So that's obviously way too high. just get enough limit break materials. You don't need to max him out. Just get enough limit break materials and one copy of him to get around 22 turns, because we only need him for this effect right here. He does double type effects, which is color affinity of driven and slasher characters for 1 turn. That's helpful but not required. And it reduces damage taken by 90% for 1 turn. This is the important thing, because that's how we're going to survive the 60k damage. Actually, if we look at the amount of health we have and the HP increase that we get from the Roger Pirates, we probably will have more than 60k health, but there is a reason that we want to have more than 60k health, or at least survive it with a large amount of HP. So Shiryu is literally just here for the damage reduction. You can replace it with any character that gives damage reduction, but he also gives color affinity just, as a bonus, which is great. So for the slots, I haven't really decided anything. They do put all slots as unfavorable, which is tough, but yeah, I mean, also I forgot to mention that Carrot and Wanda, you do have to super switch them first, because that will give them a guaranteed bonus slot. Oh, sorry, it just gives them an own slot and gives a attack boost to Wanda. So the attack boost and color affinity boost, I think you should just be able to power through that second stage. Now for the third stage, this is the third stage. So when your cruise HP is below 50%, so they have two preemptives. One when your cruise HP is below 50%, and one when it's above 50%. So when they are almost identical. Just the only difference is that when your cruise HP is below 50%, you have an extra 7 turns of defense up. Now we don't want to deal with that, so we want to keep our cruise HP above 50%. That's why we have the damage reduction. So we get 9 turns of bind on our crewmates. We get hunger for 2 turns, 2 recovery slots. Sorry. We have a damage limiter that only means you can deal 90% damage. Now we have no way of dealing with that on this team, so we're just gonna go through that. And also some turns of threshold, 7 turns of threshold. Okay, so to deal with that, we have the Roger Pirates captain. Their captain ability, if an enemy has threshold, it reduces it by 100%. So we don't have to worry about that 7 turns of threshold. We're also using friend captain Shanks, 10th anniversary Shanks, who reduces 10 turns of bind as a captain. So that 9 turns of bind, 7 turns of threshold, we don't have to worry about it at all. Our captain just remove it completely, which is amazing. So we also have the hunger. How are we going to deal with the hunger? So Carrot and Wanda do have hunger. Now if you have hunger tablets or you pulled enough copies of them to get to level 3, they'll deal with that on their own. Unfortunately, I don't have any hunger tablets. I only pulled 1 copy of them from the pulls that I did. So I only have them at level 2, which reduces only 1 hunger. However, your friend Captain Shanks, reload. Friend Captain Shanks also has 1 turn of hunger, which means with Shanks and Carrot and Wanda, both of them together will get rid of the hunger, which is great, right? So that's it. And then you do 90% of the damage, and after 1 turn, changes all slots to block slots and gives a recovery barrier for 3 turns. Now this is where actually Shanks is special, is so good, because in a special, he reduces the duration of all barriers by 3 turns. This means you don't have to deal with the recovery slots at all or the barrier at all. Just get rid of the barrier, change all slots into Sai, and get crazy damage boost. And with his EX super, which does proc because we have Roger as a captain and we have Luffy on our team. So these 2 characters will give us our EX super, which can give us an orb boost. And Luffy is here because I wanted to trigger both Roger Pirates and Shanks' EX supers. So this is the Sanji version, but it does count for Luffy, Zoro and Sanji. He's just here because he's a strong Sai slasher that can trigger Roger and Shanks' EX super. Nami is here for literally no reason. I put her on because this doesn't actually proc the weakness debuff, because there aren't 3 or more Straw Hat Pirates. She does give a base attack boost, and she changes all slots random. So she gives a full board of orbs. Now you can use that on the final stage when you're dealing 90% damage. You can actually use both of the captain's EX supers on the first turn, because you need to do 90% damage on the first turn, only 10% on the second. And with Shanks' special alone, you're probably going to be able to deal with the 10%. So that's it. I mean, you don't really need to do much. The main thing is that these unfavorable slots may be a problem, but only the type slots are unfavorable. So if you have tandem slots, they're not going to be treated as unfavorable, and they are locked. So actually, what you should do is launch Nami Special on turn 2. That way, you get a full board of tandem orbs, which are not unfavorable because she changes 2 slots to tandem. So you'll get tandem slots which are locked for 1 turn, and you can carry them onto the final stage. Then you can launch Goofy Zoro Sanji special. They give a massive attack boost, massive orb boost. Roger Pirates gives a massive color affinity boost as well as a chain multiplicative boost. Their EX Super doesn't really do much, so you don't really need them. For EX Super, it's just extra damage, right? Because you change to Super Striker and Super Slasher. So, I mean, that's it. It's all you really need. Uh, Roger Pirates are good for the damage reduction. Sorry, the damage threshold. Carrot and Wonder for the special reverse. Shiryu for the damage reduction. Shiryu is probably the most replaceable character. You can replace him with any character that gives damage reduction. Nami for the full board of tandem orbs. And because she's a strong Psy slasher, I've chosen Psy characters because the boss is int. So they get super effective. And Shanks is really good. He gets rid of the barrier when they survive the 10%, and he gets rid of bind as a captain. So this is amazing. If you haven't pulled the Roger Pirates, then you can use Shanks as your captain. However, it is recommended to use Roger Pirates as your captain because of their action special, with they get and their captain, where they get extra color affinity only if they are your captain and not your friend captain. So if character is a captain, friend/helper captain does not count and performs excellent for the action special, you get a color affinity boost by 1.3 times. So that's going to help you a lot. So it's better for them to be a captain, but if you don't have them, it's not a problem. This isn't a super boss, so your damage isn't really going to be a problem. So that's all for the teams. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the comments down below, and subscribe for more Treasure Cruise content. Thank you.